Let's see here. Oh man. So it's funny. Who posted this? So Blue Eagle, you posted the track runner. You posted the track runner that got hit in the head with a baton. And I haven't talked about this yet because I knew I wanted to talk about it on live. And guys, if you have not seen the video, I'm going to show you a video that basically sums up everything. Yeah, I'm going to show you a video that basically sums up everything. And I also want your opinions on it because I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but I used to run track. And I was pretty decent. Like I would make district, regional, state, and I went to nationals one year. But yeah, so I've run track for quite a while. And one thing, my favorite race, and I was always in them, was the 4x1 and the 4x2. Love those races. Some of my favorite races. There isn't, and keep in mind, I'm going to go into this topic with a complete open mind, but there hasn't been a time where I even almost hit anyone with a baton. Unless your form is, I've never gotten stuck. I've never hit anybody. I'm in my lane. So people are kind of spaced, like they're spaced. So I've never hit anybody. So I want your guys' opinion on this, okay?
This morning, Alayla Everett, the track star at the center of that viral video showing her appearing to hit another runner in the head with the baton, is speaking out.
I would never do that on purpose. That's not in my character.
Everett says the incident is a complete misunderstanding, pointing to another angle of the race as proof.
The baton was literally like her
understanding.
Character.
Everett says the incident is a complete misunderstanding, pointing to another angle of the race as proof.
The baton was literally like her arm was literally hitting the baton like this until she got a little ahead and my arm got stuck like this.
In the video, Everett is seen on the inside.
I do see that it does seem like that she got stuck, but I'm sorry. It doesn't seem like, it just seems harder to hit somebody in the head accidentally than it is intentionally, if that makes any sense. I don't see it.
Running the 4x200 relay at the Virginia State High School League Championships when junior Kaylin Tucker came around the outside on the corner.
That's when she hit me with the baton. I just felt a bang on my head and then I fell off the track immediately.
Kaylin dropping her baton and reaching for her head. She was later diagnosed with a concussion.
Okay, wait a minute though, because it seems like she showed some sort of like concern.
With the concussion.
Huh. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? You understand how trash your form has to be in order for you to do something like that. I mean, yes, I understand. Sometimes you can be in close quarters. Hold up, let me show you guys this. Even if you were bumping into her like previously, you could have moved over a little bit. And you could have moved over a little bit. But she was obviously like passing her. So now I'm thinking, okay, was she pissed off that she was passing her and she had an excuse to basically like hit her upside the head? Somebody said she's just mad that she got caught. But yeah, because there's no way. Unless you run and like, hold up. Oh, I got you. I got y'all. Hold on. If you run it like this, then I understand. Look at that. If you hear what if you hear, then that makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, unless you hear with it, you run it like that, there's no way. First of all, someone needs to teach you how to run. Even if that was a mistake, why the f is your form so bad? You're supposed to be here. It's not that hard. She did that shit on purpose. Like there is nothing that there's no conclusion that I can come to. And apparently the sprinter that hit her was charged. Somebody sent a video of Pink Book lessons. Let's see what she had to say about this situation.
Senior Alayla Everett has been charged with the misdemeanor of assault and battery out of Lynchburg. Now,
Was she running like Shadow the Hedgehog?
His family is going to fight this to help clear their daughter's name. The Lynchburg Commonwealth's attorney confirmed on Wednesday that Everett was charged for her role in the incident in Lynchburg, where she is seen hitting another runner, Kaylin Tucker, in the head with a baton. Earlier this week, I spoke with Everett and her dad. She said what is seen in the video was an accident. Everett said she lost her balance because the runner did not provide herself enough distance to cut into the inside lane of the track during the race. Everett says the hit was not intentional, but she's received backlash online, including death threats. We spoke to Lynchburg Commonwealth's attorney Bethany Harrison, who explained the outcome for Everett if she's found guilty in juvenile court.
The court has many what we call dispositional options available to it, many things the court can order to help in that goal of rehabilitation. It could be community service, it could be time in detention, and a lot of things in between, like counseling services of that nature.
Yo, I stopped watching Pink Book lessons a long time ago, like a long time ago as well, but I am curious to see what her thoughts are here, because I don't know where she would be like in this situation. I feel like Pink Book lessons has been essentially like she's I don't know how to explain, like it seems like her views have gotten a little more conservative. I feel like that's a good way to put it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Leo.
Portsmouth NAACP is reacting to the charge. I'll tell you what they had to say at 5. I'm Danielle Seda, WTKR News 3.
The Virginia high school senior who struck her opponent during a race, causing a concussion and a possible skull fracture, is now facing charges in connection with the incident. The Lynchburg...
Yo, Danny had a very good point. He said, how the fuck are you going to... That's funny you say that, because Virginia is indeed very competitive. He said, how the fuck are you going to make it to states in fucking Virginia? Virginia is competitive when it comes to track and field. That is very true. With that terrible form, I don't know how she made it, but maybe she's just like one of those people that's just like super, just naturally fast.
Commonwealth's attorney's office has filed a petition for 1 count of assault and battery.
You say she's been that way for a while? I guess the videos that I would watch, it seems like she would be, well, to be fair, it has been probably like a year or two since I watched Pink Book lessons, but beforehand, it seems like she was kind of like in the middle of things. Like her views weren't as conservative as they are now, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't know.
The victim is recovering from her injuries, while the family of the girl who caused all of this is on Facebook attempting to gaslight both the victim and anybody who doesn't buy their story that it was merely an accident. In a recent interview, the attacker essentially said, yeah, the victim was hit by accident, but what about me? Making it all about herself.
Everybody has feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right?
You gave her a concussion.
This girl wanted us to feel sorry for her because of her own actions and the fallout they caused. That's why she appeared on TV crying and letting the tears linger throughout the entire interview.
That's what I'm saying. We all saw it. Like, and I can't justify it. Like, I dead ass can't justify it.
Avoiding wiping her face, clearly trying to create a more dramatic effect. It's a manipulation tactic designed to make herself seem like the victim, when in fact, she was the attacker who victimized another girl. Many people aren't buying her story and have taken to social media to voice their disbelief, stating they don't think it was an accident.
Danny said, ain't no way I'm sitting up with my daughter lying, crying with a straight face. Her parents probably been enabling her for a while. Get her an acting lessons. She going to be a star with that talent. So the thing is, right, if we are going to allow some sort of grace here, the parents, they could like wholeheartedly just trust their daughter and just believe what she's saying, right? Because maybe in their mind, like, I know my daughter, she wouldn't do something like this. She's never done something like this before. So I'm going to stick beside her. She said it's an accident. Then I'm going to say it was a fucking accident. You feel me? So I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to just assume that they're all in on it. Also not going to say that it's impossible.
Has been on a track team and ran relay races with a baton in my hand. That was not no accident.
Thank you.
Like, she absolutely did that on purpose. You know how if you never run track before, then you don't know how. But batons are so lightweight.
Batons are okay. So she's right. Batons are light-ish, and they're usually like they're made out of like aluminum. So, and keep in mind, do you know how hard you have to swing that thing? I will say they do hurt. I've been just like with my friends or whatever, and we hit each other with batons. Them shits hurt. They hurt. You're getting hit with aluminum, and you know how hard you have to swing that in order to cause a concussion. That is a great point.
Like, they're featherweight. So the amount of force you gotta put behind that to give somebody a concussion and a fractured skull, like, I literally cannot wrap my head around how hard she threw that bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
And then I heard she didn't even apologize, or it don't even look like she checked on the girl in the video. Like, track coaches preach about your form all the time. Never, ever, ever should your arm have ever even been that far back behind your damn head if it was an accident. Like, how did your arm even get back there?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, but the track runner that hit that girl in the head with a baton while they were running a relay, you definitely did that on purpose because you was losing. Never.
I'm vindicated. I am vindicated. Like, again, everybody that is in the track that ran track can also confirm that this shit has never happened. Track guy, how many relays have you run in your life? I've run a shit ton. I've never even touched another person beside me, ever.
In my years of running track, have I ever thought, oh, I want this that bad, I'm gonna hit.
Chris, it's fine. Even if you did have a better angle, bro, you probably still wouldn't get it. I feel like this is for the peoples. I mean, you guys can obviously have an opinion, but the people that have run track before, we are going to have a more idea than someone that hasn't, because I'm like telling you, physically that is very hard to do.
This girl with the stick, girl, like, you could literally see in the video.
Right, yo, misfortune, exactly. She said the most that can happen is that you drop the baton. She didn't even drop that bitch, because if somebody, and that's a point that I made with my wife too when I was talking to her about this, because like when you're running and you get caught up on somebody with the baton, like, I find it's hard to believe that she didn't drop it. I don't know. Does Naruto running count?
Then had the nerve to do a whole interview. The tears, they ain't working. They are not working. Cause me, I see right through that. If it was an accident, why was there a wind up? The facial expressions after hitting her, girl. See, you only feel bad because you got caught. Like, baby,
shut up,
a blind
Nicole.
person could tell that you did that on purpose. Instead of crying on this interview, you could have just apologized because you gave that girl a whole concussion. And she talked about the angles. Baby, it don't even matter about the angles. Each angle, it still look the same. You did that on purpose. And I feel like she's only really apologizing because she doesn't want the girl's family to move forward with possibly charging her or suing her for hitting her in the head.
Wholeheartedly agree. Honestly, she should have apologized. Like I said, apparently she didn't like comfort her after she did it. But if she would have stopped and was like, yo, or even afterwards, if she came to her and was like, yo, I am so sorry. I promise you, I did not mean to do it. We would be having a different conversation right now, because she didn't do that. How you doing, Veronica?
I would have to agree. After reviewing multiple angles of that video, it's pretty clear this was a deliberate attack. When you piece together the video
ain't no
footage,
way. I saw where she potentially got stuck. Ain't no way.
I would have to agree. After reviewing multiple angles of that video, it's pretty clear this was a deliberate attack. When you piece together the video footage, her reaction after the incident, and the gaslighting from her parents, it's hard to deny the defendant looks incredibly guilty. And obviously the DA didn't believe it was an accident either. That's why they charged her.
Okay, so I think everybody needs to remember the fact that there are consequences to our actions, because the girl that knocked the Mario coins out of her competitor with the baton while they were running the 4x2 just got charged with assault and battery. And this is just so crazy because all of it, the media coverage and the charge, could have been avoided with an apology and an explanation. Like immediately after she knocked that girl.
Yo, track guy, we have literally done that before. You're absolutely right. You don't do it during the race. You do it afterwards. You're absolutely right.
Girl upside the head. She should have went up to her and said, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what happened, but I'm so sorry and I did not mean to do it, even though she did. And I'm still trying to figure out why her and her family thought the best thing to do after hitting that girl and causing a concussion and a possible skull fracture was to get on the news and cry. Like, why did nobody, especially the adults and coaches around her, tell her to go up to that girl and say sorry?
Right.
Like, it's very simple.
That's what I'm saying. Did I not just say the same shit?
You may think that the other family went too far by pressing charges, but no.
Nah.
They did exactly what they needed to do, because had it been me and my mother, shoot, charges would have been pressed, lawyers would have been called, and she would have figured out a way to sue the entire school. And I really do think that this serves as a valuable lesson to the entire track community, that if you're losing a race, you do not knock your competitor the out.
I blame the parent. I will always blame the parent. I know y'all have seen that girl crying her eyes out, the girl who hit that other girl in the track meet with the baton. She says it was unintentional. She's crying her eyes out on national TV, and I can only be upset with the parent.
Yep.
You mean to tell me, as the parent of that child, you watched that same video that all of us watched, and you allowed your daughter to get on national television and not take ownership of what she did? It's parents like y'all.
But okay, so let me ask y'all a question. As for the parents in the chat, god damn it, bro, this damn thing is getting on my nerves. For the parents in the chat, I feel like it's hard as a parent, because again, if a child tells you and she's crying, I promise you, I did not mean to hit them. Like, it wasn't intentional. I understand the footage is out there, but as a parent, I feel like it'd be pretty whether she did it or not. It would be pretty if you were like, I don't believe you. I looked at the tapes. It seems like you did hit them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like as a parent, that's a tough situation, because especially if you have a good relationship with your child, you would be inclined to believe your child.
Which is why kids grow up and have issues, various issues, because you aren't teaching your child anything.
The dad did apologize. I didn't know that. But yeah, I'm not going to just straight up say the parents are at fault here. I'm not going to say that. Now, if we are talking about in terms of her anger issues, then there may be some shortcomings there. But, that's a different conversation.
The parents are the worst part of this whole situation. They're going off on social media, defending their daughter, claiming she didn't do anything wrong. You even have people backing the defendant talking about justice for Alayla. We're crazy. Talking about the girl who hit the victim with the baton. She's even got the NAACP defending her, which is a complete slap in the face to the actual victim. How were they supporting the girl who caused a concussion and a possible skull fracture, completely ignoring the suffering of the victim? This is absolutely insane. Been windmilling on Facebook for days, the daddy too. She said, anyone on my Facebook friends who believe my daughter hit the girl on purpose, regardless of the facts, please unfriend me now. And then her daddy is just as bad as the mama. Not only is he defending his daughter and trying to make her a victim, but now he's lashing out at the media, blaming them. He said, we have shared specific, detailed, and momentum-changing pictures and videos to most of the local and major news channels that interviewed us. These news channels refused to show this information the way we presented it to them several times over. For reasons unknown, it is clear to us that they don't care about the well-being of our child, Alayla Everett, at all. This man was trying to manipulate the media to get them to present the story.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say all
in a way that's favorable to their daughter instead of just presenting the facts. They literally showed them speaking in their own words. And no, nobody's buying it because y'all sound stupid. He went on to say these news channels still continue to not show the footage with a detailed description that we gave them. At this point, it seems like they're trying to do it on purpose. These news channels are contributing to the damaging and hurtful treatment of our child on purpose. We have been sharing this information the best way we know how on social media with the help of family, friends, and concerned strangers. I'm absolutely sure that our daughter's situation would be better if this information was shown immediately after it was presented. Nevertheless, God is good. We will continue to uplift and support our child to the utmost. We as a community will continue to fight for her. The truth will be exposed in due time, and God's timing is always perfect. So they're trying to blame the media for their daughter being charged, as if the DA only looked at the news and used news clips to charge her. Like, that's crazy. And I'm telling you,
okay, what I don't like here is, I feel like Pink Book Lessons really isn't, she's not taking the parents really into an account too much. She's just basically, yes, I understand how it seems and how like it may look, but you gotta think about every possibility, because like I said before, I'm sure these parents are simply defending their daughter because they genuinely believe her. And I'm not going to say that that's a bad thing, because I would defend my child too. Like I know some of you in the chat said you can tell when your daughter is lying, or you can tell when something is off or whatever. Like, I get that, but if they come crying to me and they seem genuine, then I'm gonna be inclined to believe them as well. So
daddy is worse than the mama. He's been windmilling on social media too. He said, I've seen intentional fights and bad behavior in every sport that we love in America, and is celebrated and accepted, but none treated worse in America than my 17-year-old.
Oh, okay, I wouldn't have said that. That's kind of weird. I've seen intentional fights and bad behavior in every sport that we love in America, and it's celebrated and accepted. But that's a terrible argument, because it's kind of like, I don't know. This is a bad argument, because it low key, it's like you're kind of almost implying that your daughter did do it. You know what I'm saying?
Daughter's unintentional mistake. Let that sink in. Justice for Alayla. Again, it's all about his daughter. He's completely ignoring the victim's suffering while trying to make his daughter the victim. This man said justice for Alayla. Like, really? Again, we're talking about the father making his daughter out to be the victim, and you wonder where the daughter's lack of accountability comes from. Just look at her own mama and daddy.
Well, somebody in the chat said he did apologize, so I don't know.
Yeah, not only are these fools defending this mess, but they're also making her out to be the victim. That's why this girl is going to have to be held accountable, because no one else is going to do it. She's being charged with a misdemeanor and will probably walk away with anger management and community service.
For sure.
But obviously that's the only way to get help for her. She's going to have to be ordered to address her anger issues that caused her to react like that on the track. But running around denying what's on video and now playing the victim talking about justice for Alayla is not the way to go. She and her parents, they're the ones making this whole situation worse.
Yo, I love a good hockey fight. Oh, man. Hockey fights are hilarious to me. I love watching hockey fights.
Up here trying to blame the media and everybody else for their own actions. That's ridiculous. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about this below.
Yeah, I don't agree. Like I said, I don't agree with everything that Pink Book Lessons said here, but I will agree that this shit was most definitely intentional, for sure.